My name is Martin Hinoul, Business Development Manager in one of the best technology transfer offices in Europe, Leuven. We just were awarded as the #1 in Europe, #5 in the world, so that's not too bad. I came back from the United States 19 years ago. I lived and worked and studied there for 20 years. Worked a couple of years in China, 1 year in India, you name it. Came back to that fabulous technology transfer office, I think 19 years ago. And then we started working on that phenomenal transfer office. Your question, my kids, they did the same thing as myself. They moved away from Belgium. My grandkids, they will never come back to this country, I think. Yeah, I wish we could make buildings like I saw a couple of weeks ago. I saw the new media labs in MIT, Cambridge, United States. It's a building beyond belief. You come in and you see the synergies between, and I just will read it for you, between technology, media, science, art, design, and architecture. And you see it in the building by coming in. You come in the lobby, it's wow, what's this? So what buildings do we need? I think buildings you need where you see these synergies. Not only that, we have to work on synergies. It's very, very clear. You cannot be a top expert in one discipline. You need multidisciplinarity or interdisciplinarity, whatever you call it. But you have to see that in the building, I think. Then that building should be in place in all the rest of that campus with restaurants and cafeteria and you name it. For me, the most important thing on a campus is proximity. What we learned in Leuven is that proximity is the number uno. 20 years back in Leuven, when I arrived there, everything was isolated. So we started also in making networks and so on and so on. But nevertheless, the campus should be a very good example of transparency. And proximity is key for me. Yeah, it's an excellent question. And believe it or not, we in Leuven, we moved to Genk. It's a place in Belgium. It's in northern part of Belgium. It's 70 kilometers from Leuven. And we were so happy that at a very old mine site. There were mines 40, 50 years ago. We built a technical school. We built a couple of theaters. We built a cinema, restaurants, an incubator, and you name it. Of course, you can do that when you start from scratch. In an existing little place like Leuven, an old place, you cannot do it. But the advantage is unbelievable that you bring all these goodies together. We did it for the first time in Genk, and certainly you are welcome to study this fantastic phenomena. We brought in a fantastic European project, an EIT project, European Institute for Technology, and we built the old mine engineering building, became a very modern building. We built a fantastic incubator. We are working now on what we call renewable energies. We build a solar facility, etc., etc. 20 hectares where you get a tremendous freedom because you start from scratch. And this will, well, it works. But I think for the future, we should consider this more and more. Start from scratch and build it out. Yeah. That's a big question, The network. We talk for years and years about networks, but these days we have the technology. And I became very much interested in the project written by Cisco, the American company, IT company. And they did a study on what we call Internet of Things. And in fact, we call it Internet of Everything. We will make these smart cities, we will make smart homes, we will make smart working places, etc. We can do it because the technology is there. We have the technology, we can do it. Once again, in these older cities, Heidelberg and Leuven and Cambridge and you name it, it's a little bit more difficult because the cities are there. In newer places, and I'm looking into what we are doing in Genk, 70 kilometers from Leuven, we made a mistakes. In Leuven, we are there since 1425, as you know, and we built these famous old colleges. That's fantastic, but it's very difficult to make that a modern city with autonomous driving and all that kind of things. So the newer, the fresher you start, the better you can implement these smart homes and these smart cities and etc. The more and more we understand that we have to develop new products and think from the very, very, very beginning to recycling. We never did it before. We made a car and then we said, okay, what shall we do with the waste and with the exhaust and all that kind of stuff. These days, our scientists are smart. They know from the very, very beginning that they have to take care about all these things. I'll give you an example. Samsonite is a well-known company in the world. They make these suitcases. And at a given day, they came to Leuven and they said, can you develop us a new suitcase? And we said, yes, we will make you a suitcase. And most of attention went to the recycling. And then we went back to the design. And then we invented new materials like carbon fibers and carbon ribbons. So important will be that you will see the products or whatever it is, and then you go back in your design. We never did that before. We designed it, but we were not interested in recycling or whatever it was. So we'll see that impact in the future on a dramatic way. And for all the products, and I would say services, we will look to the final product and then go back to the design and try to define the materials so that you have what we call a circular economy, whatever it is. Well, that's a very important question. And there you come to the fact that for the first time we say, like I have to read here, the government, the commercial, the scientific, the municipalities. For the first time, I think we are talking. I remember very well when I came back to Leuven 19 years ago, we didn't talk to each other. There was the university, there was the government, there were the financial institutes, there was the industry, but we never talked. So we made all the blunders which you can imagine. And for the first time we said, let's start now for the new campuses which we built, the new industrial parks which we built, the new incubators which we built. We said, let's start from the very beginning with the several parties. And then everybody talks about this triple helix or whatever you call it. I don't like the word, but nevertheless, for the first time, we saw that it can be done. Everybody has to play his role, but you have to talk together. Scientists are fantastic. The government can offer us fantastic instruments. The financial world is there with the money for good projects. So if you play it well, you can do miracles. You just can do miracles.